Dumelang.
Hello.
Ke dumedisha ka leina la Jesu. Wa bolelang ke Lesiba Mokgokong. And then I'm the managing director of Manjaro Technicals. Yes. So the story of the managing director is another story, but I'm from Motungwa Perekisi. And then, but I was raised somewhere the side of Mashasha. Yeah, so primary school, I was there, and my experience there, it was more of, a community where everyone knows everyone. Like, you can count the houses on the street and say, so that was how my formative years came about. And Mutung it's not like that. There's groups that, there's different. So when I went to high school, I had to go back home from Mama Shashan, and then I went to Siwa. It was also it's in village. Village is maybe 10 kilometers away from my home. And then from there, to say what I wanted to do, high school, I did electrical works, like electricity, the basics of electricity, and then, so I was most likely to be an electrical engineer, but, okay, so, okay, okay. Okay, yeah, I can know COVID and all these things, they have created some fear. Yeah. Yes. Then it happened that, first of all, what inspired me was, I used to study about industrialists, like big industrialists, old ones like JP Morgan's, General Electrics, and Thomas Edison, who created the light bulb, all those. From, say, if you go back in history from the 1800s to write about the Cold War in the 1950s. So what happened was, you'd see ships, and wonder why even the Titanic, the sinking of the Titanic was caused by something called ductile to brittle transition temperature. So that means the steel that they had made that ship with, it was not hard enough. No, okay, it was too hard actually, such that when it met the iceberg, it crumbled like a cookie crumbling. Yes. So I got to find out that if there was someone called a metallurgist to do that ship was going to have passed the English Channel or wherever it goes free. Then I found out about metallurgy, and then I went to, first my parents sent me to the Navy, the military Navy in Saldanha, but the applications were done here in Fort Trekker, and I came, and then they had these big poles and small poles, you see. You jump down and out, and then there was this time that so you are required to do 45 push-ups, 45 sit-ups, shuttle runs, all those things. And there was this lady, she was big, she was white. My estimation could be 120 kg, but she could pull 50 push-ups. She was in the army for long. She could do 50, and when I got to 30, so the minimum required was 45. Yeah, when I got to 30, I think that was where I decided that it's not gonna work. Then I went back home. Yes, I went back home, and then I wanted to be a metallurgist, and then my parents said, okay, so what my parents did was, so I'm from a family of 6, so you'll understand I'm number 4. So they sent in children to school, and here I am coming after the money is finished, you see. And you have to take the military way because it's, and then if now you want to go do metallurgy, you see now you are putting pressure on already resources that are not there. But my father had got advice that if if you have 5,000 at that time, 2003, 2004, if you have 5,000 and you give this child, he will go to school, everything will work out. I did not undermine the advice, because the day that I thought, okay, if this 5,000 is the one that is going to get me through, what I will do is look at the cheapest means of transport and the cheapest school, everything. Then I went to UJ and I took the train. You see the Polokwane train I took it. It was around 30 rands at the time. And I saw UJ, got off the train, and then went into the school. I had a bag, and because I did not know anyone there, my target was just to register. And I put that bag, there were some flowers on the street, I put it there, and then walked into the school like I know, I'm like a student, you see. And at the end of the day, I had registered without paying a cent. I had dress, everything was there. Like I called home and told them, I'm in. And that was it. But it was NSFAS. So, I mean, if you ask, they check the requirements for NSFAS was, I had good marks, by the way, from metric. So the requirement for NSFAS was just to pass everything they will pay. So I did not see, when people talk about university difficult, I don't understand, because you just pass, they pay. Then that was it. And yeah, it was 2 years. I did 2 years. I did not, it was too difficult to just, I did 2 years, and then I graduated with a diploma. And I got training there by a company called Score Metals. I got training there for a year, and then we were cooking steel every day. So it was, those machines, they run 24 hours. So you get used to their life, such that you even dissociate from society, because I mean, if someone is having a wedding, they won't invite you. They know, that one will be going to work. So it's shift work, the nature of shift work. Yeah, I did it for a year, and then after graduating, I got a job. I worked in Mpumalanga for 5 years. Yeah, I got a 5-year certificate, I remember. So, and that company exposed me to, I was the product development engineer for steels going to Malaysia. So every month we would be sending steel and all those things into Malaysia, and it exposed me to how everything was being managed from a point of, I mean, I come from what I would say, my father does windows, he fits windows on glasses. So the whole Polokwane, I think I went through almost all the houses. I went there to fix houses. So that was, I was coming from a background of entrepreneurship. So, but then, when you are a product development engineer, the products that you're developing, they have, like for me, if they're going to Malaysia, what happens is, I would notice that some months, the target I would not hit the target, some months I would hit the target, but the problem was the orders that were coming in, they were not consistent, and I did not understand why these orders are not consistent. Okay. Yes. So I got to find out that the foreigners in Asia, when they buy, they choose to buy steel from America or Russia or South Africa, depending on the prices, the euro, pounds, and what. And I could see that even if I want to hit the targets, there's these limitations on my performance and all that. So how that experience shaped me was, there's a bigger world. There's a bigger world, you know, like comparing it to what we always expand to. I mean, if you hear about, I mean, the declaration here, the declaration that Brother Happiness presented here, it talks of a city, and it talks of the prosperity of a city. So even us, as Africans, particularly black, we have a whole continent that people live in ways that, you see, brother, you wanted us to get down, you see. Sometimes the state of the economy can create a situation that you see there and we just watching. Understand? It happens. So in this youth month, what I would say as the youth is to say that I understand that we get educated and we do various difficult technical stuff, but there need to be people who create jobs, because that is I mean, right now we have how much? It's above 30% unemployment rate, and that is our problem. That is our problem. And if we were to be like cars, you see, a car, it indicates where it's going. Yeah. And we have a community like this. All of us, we should be able to be seen, we should be able to be perceived as those who indicate towards a certain direction. And I'm happy to see that this church, we are a conversational church. Yeah. We talk, so it shows that we are going, we are indicating to say that the time of 35% unemployment is coming to an end. It's coming to an end when we do like this, because we know now people who are, we can say the adults, do we say the elders or what, who are holding the economy or whatever? It's in our hands. It's us. It's us who have to make sure that things change. It's us who have to solve the problems of the country. And the only way to solve them, or one of the ways that a managing director has to think about it, something they call it pestil. You know, you check the political. You must be aware of where you live, politically, what's happening. I mean, I was inspired by, they call him the Duke of what? There by Tanin. That man, yes, that man, in an interview, they asked him about the challenges of the country and everything. He said, where I come from, there is no unemployment. So, it's his activities, it's what he fought for. And right now, we can say the democracy project has failed, but to him it did not fail because where he comes from, his area. So, yes, we may see it as a failed project and we become despondent and everything, but in this church, it should not be the case. In this church, it should be people who understand their role, no matter how big or small you are. We should be able to understand that where you are, you change. You see, Muruti, sometimes you talk about you going, I don't know, you go to Angola or what, you see. And it inspires me to understand that you do not only work for this 1 year. There is people there who are receiving this excellence that is being practiced at 3C. So yeah, I will go back to being a managing director now. So the managing director in me, it says, you understand the political space you are in, you understand the economical space you are in, the technological and the societal. You understand society, the kind of society that you live in. I mean, we're talking about this thing that we have here, the metal. Those metals, you do them. It is either maybe stainless steel or titanium. I mean, as we speak, it can be printed. You see, like a printer. You print that thing, and then it comes out a fully. So that's why I'm going into technology now. That even now, we should not be in a church that is surprised by load shedding. We know it's there, it's going to be there forever. And at some point, we have to accept and just organize that we have batteries or generator. Well, generator makes noise, but yeah, it's stuff like that. And also the kind of lives we live, even if, because the kind of things that are going to create jobs, they are things that basically happen into the future. Like your 3Ds and urbanization. Urbanization is towards, I mean, most of you here have rented in low-cost housing or what? Yeah, those houses. We should be able to influence those kind of policies. And I know that this is a spiritual space, but praying can also happen in the working and in the actions and in everything. So, yeah, I will encourage us to pray in that order. Thank you.